It is approximately 6:02. Councilman Galloway, Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Present.
Councilman Frankie.
Present.
Councilman Vincent.
Present.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Present.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Present.
Councilwoman West.
Here.
Councilman Galloway.
Here.
All present.
And I would like to state that I'm not wearing a mask, and I think many of you are not, because we are around sneeze guards. We are 6 feet away besides the sneeze guards, so would like just to remind the public that may be interested in the reason why we do not have masks on here at the council level. Petitions and comments of citizens, and I'd like to begin, some things that happen in the community that are frustrating or negative bring out the best in people. And I will tell you what, we have a great partnership with our school corporation, and many of you have heard through the media about individuals that burned the bridge at the park department. And, it gives an opportunity for those that want to make a difference to step up. And our school system stepped up. And tonight, thanks to Kurt Lawson from the school building trades and Principal Chris Alber, we get to honor and recognize those individuals that step up, because we hear a lot about kids, the negative things that happen, and tonight we get to recognize our future leaders for making a difference. So with that, Principal Chris Alber.
Thank you, Mayor Dermody, and members of the board. I appreciate you having us here tonight. I think the special thing about tonight is, like many of you, I found out about this after the fact, and I'm very proud of both our teachers and our students, where when they see something like this occur, they take action. They know the right thing to do, and I'm just extremely proud. So full disclosure, I found out about this after the fact, and I think it's wonderful. I'm very proud of Mr. Lawson. I'm very proud of our students, and they took what was a negative, and that does occur from time to time, and they turned it into a positive. So we're just very, very thankful. And our students here on their first night of summer vacation, and they are here to spend it with you guys. So we're very appreciative. But I wanted to thank you, and at this time introduce Mr. Kurt Lawson, who is our teacher for our building trades program at LaPorte High School. He's never missed a day of work in his career.
Really?
So, Mr. Lawson.
It's impressive.
And by the way, this does not count for a government class in the fall.
But it should.
Kurt,
I thank you guys for having us here.
you can take your mask down if you'd like.
I thank you guys for having us here. Like I said, when I first seen this happen, I text Tom. It was on a Sunday morning, and he must have been talking to some world leaders or the Pope or something like that on a Sunday, and he never got back to me. And I thought, the next day I looked at What's New LaPorte, and it said the LaPorte High School building trades is going to take care of this bridge, which I wanted to begin with. But I thank you guys for the opportunity of having us do that. And then, like I said, since I read it in the paper, that I thought we better do it. So we decided that we were going to take care of it. And then we got it done, and I snapped a picture and sent the picture to Tom, and I just said done. And then a couple of days later, I was driving down the road past Fish Lake, and then Tom calls me and thanked me so kindly, like he did. He was all over everywhere, but, he did thank me, and I appreciate you asking us to come to this meeting tonight. And I would like to introduce you to the 5 of my seniors that will in my class this year that did very well.
And we're going to bring them to the front if that's okay with you.
That's
Put them
fine
under the.
with me. When they come up, I'll tell you what their plans are when they get
Please do.
If they ever get their graduation, some of them guys, you guys got all the credits, I'm sure. The first one, come up, Nolan back. He took the class, he learned a lot. He left his tools at home a lot. But he wants to get into some type of sports type of management or something like that. He's going to start at IUSB. So he's a senior this year. Devin Banda, he's with me for 2 years. He's kind of my go-to guy that I ask him to do things, and he keeps everyone else informed on what we do. And he's a senior, and he'll be working for the Laborers Union and hopefully with Reith and Riley. If not, he'll go to the state NDOT. Kavan Lombard, he's a senior. And of course, most of these guys are playing on the football team and stuff like that, as you can tell. He probably learned most. He was very, you didn't have to tell him to get busy. He would be the one that would be, he took the initiative to get things moving. He wants to get into the Carpenters Union, in which he will get in. And then John Graham Fogelsong, he's been with me for 2 years. He's going to go to Grace College and hopefully does well there. He's been with me for 2 years, and it's been a challenge, but he's been a good kid. He's one of those guys that has to touch everything, and like that gong out there, he probably played that for 20 minutes before we came out. And the last one, Carter Meese, he's a 4.0 student still, right? What's that? He's like a 4.0, top 10% of the class. It's kind of neat to see. I usually don't get those types of kids in class. He's going to study engineering at Purdue. So, right. And then we had another kid I only had one junior because we class got we didn't get the registration down, and then COVID hit, so I've only had a smaller class, but we were a very tight-knit group. Like next week, I think all these guys, except for maybe Graham, are all heading to Florida together, which hopefully they come back. So yeah, I went. Cody Frayne, he was a junior, and I'm sure he wants to be a carpenter when he gets done with the class. So that is the class that helped with the bridge.
That's awesome.
Well, hey. Gents, we always hear, like I said, the negative, but we wanted to personally thank you. You have to have a spokesperson, so who's going to step to the mic here and lead the way? Boiler up, you've been chosen. So tell us, what made you decide to get the group together and go ahead and do this?
Saw something that needed to be done,
There you go.
So we stepped up.
And
Got it done.
next project?
That's for what?
Wait, how long did it take you to do?
One day. Got up, went there, got it done.
I walked out there afterwards. I can attest that my weight was safe on it. But did you have to remove all the burnt? What'd you have to do exactly? Why don't you?
Yeah, we went. We had to unbolt like 4 spots on there, and then pull out the boards, put in the new ones, and bolt it back together. And that.
Well, it made a difference. Council, any questions, comments?
I just think you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for stepping up. Cody's my great nephew, so I'm proud of him too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We'd like to honor you with a photo, so if you don't mind, sorry. I know Kurt's going to probably ruin the photo, but we'd still like for all of you to come up, and we'll take a photo with council if we can. Come on up here with us.
My mask.
I'll put you center stage right up there.
Stand back there with you, Nick, because I know that
Because you're one of the tall guys, Roger.
Yep. Me and you, buddy.
Give your phone, Bert.
I'm just standing back here. I'm by the tall guy.
All right, one more, guys. All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
They're like, yes, summer break can begin.
That's so cool. I love that. That's so cool.
That is really cool.
Hey, Mr. Alber,
That's right there.
I believe, and I just did it, I believe we introduced you incorrectly. Are you not now Dr. Albert?
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes. I feel like I quit my second job now. I finished the PhD, so very excited. May 12th.
Congratulations, Doctor.
Congratulations, and if you could email the correct spelling of the names of the
Ashley's out there.
students, or Ashley, as we were going to ask Mr. Lawson, but we needed them spelled correctly, so that's why we thought we'd go to Dr. Albers.
Definitely want to run things through me before Kurt.
Thank you,
So, thank you, everyone. We appreciate you having us here tonight.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alyssa Affeld from our Diversity and Inclusion Committee, who we love to see here, so welcome, and thank you for your efforts and commitment to making LaPorte a better place and being a part of one of our many committees.
Well, I appreciate you always having me.
Well, if you could state your name and address for the
Yes.
record.
As Tom had previously mentioned, my name is Alyssa Affeld, and I live at 2310 Hillside Court here in LaPorte. I just prepared a very short statement on behalf of the Diversity and Inclusion Board and also as a citizen of the community. George Takei said, we should indeed keep calm in the face of indifference and live our lives in a state of inclusion and wonder at the diversity of humanity. June is widely recognized as Pride Month, but what does Pride mean? For me, Pride is a time where I can promote and reflect on self-affirmation, equality, and visibility as a member of the LGBTQ+ community. The LGBTQ+ community suffers homelessness, mental health issues, and substance use issues at a significantly higher rate than their heterosexual counterparts. The visibility and acceptance of this community plays a major role in these issues, and they are important to recognize during Pride. Pride is a time of remembrance for the 1969 Stonewall riots and further celebrates the beauty and significance of a diversity and inclusion. Tonight, we present a pride flag to the city of LaPorte for the first time. We hope to see this flag fly during Pride Month as a symbol to those in our community that the city of LaPorte is not only diverse, but accepting and inclusive. I'll close with a statement from Jason Collins. Openness may not completely disarm prejudice, but it's a good place to start. And I know that we promised you a pride flag last year during Pride. But this is a newer updated pride flag that includes the people of color, black, brown, and the transgender colors.
And thank you for what you're doing for the committee. I mean, I think, and one thing that the council nor the mayor set the agendas. They speak about whatever they feel necessary that the community has an issue with or concern, and they address those with no input or advice really from the council nor the mayor. So we appreciate that and appreciate those efforts. Can you speak to that just briefly about, are you seeing a difference made for maybe especially those young people that, we talked about a lot when you started or that began with the diversity committee, that some of the young people did not feel they had a place to turn?
Yeah, it seems to me like people are becoming more involved in things. We've had people come to Diversity and Inclusion Committee meetings and make statements. Kids from the community have come, community members have come. It's important to recognize that Juneteenth is also on the 19th of June. And the Diversity and Inclusion Committee will have a statement regarding Juneteenth as well. But we've tried really hard to have a good presence on social media and make statements for the different celebrations that we have each month for different groups that are diverse and inclusive.
Well, if you want to bring the flag forward, would you also like to introduce anybody else that might be with you?
Yes, Esther Stiles came with me. Esther is from PFLAG, which is Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays.
Tim, I know you've been directly involved. Any comments from as president, and you've been directly involved in this board?
Well, I think I was reading a little bit on the Stonewall riots and, just kind of reflecting on things, and I think it's pretty cool to see how far society has come since 1969 in terms of acceptance, and I think we still have a ways to go, but just looking, in the past, 50 years, things have really turned the corner, and I think for a more positive direction, and I'd like to thank these ladies for all that you do as well, to continue to work to make our community a more accepting and better place.
Thanks, Tim. We appreciate you.
Any other comments from the council?
I do know at the last meeting, we discussed, I think we're gonna go to the new maker space right at the library. Is that
Yep.
next month? So to try to attract the younger generation, so.
Cheers. You sound like I feel.
Stand behind you.
One more. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
You guys get in here, and I can't get in.
I probably should follow you guys. Sorry.
Did you see the new, with the train in Chicago? The Shriners, that it has all colors on it.
Oh, no, I haven't. Like a metro
I saw-
train or CTA train or something?
CTA or something, one of the trains there. I saw it on the news today.
Courtney, don't let him forget the minutes.
I feel good. Coming down with something.
Any other petitions or comments from the public? Hearing none, we will move to approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the minutes is presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Standing committee reports. President Frankie.
The redevelopment commission met on May 26th. The Kensington purchase agreement was approved, which is good news. We should start seeing development soon in Newport Landing. A light pole that has been hit twice within the last 2 years was approved to be relocated. That was at the roundabout in Newport Landing. And discussion was had regarding the bid process from developers for the Don George property, and it appears that, that ball is rolling, so hopefully we'll see some stuff happening there soon. On the following day, on the 27th, the Diversity and Inclusion Committee met here at City Hall. Fonda Owens, the director of the LaPorte County Public Library, came and spoke to the committee about possibilities of partnering with the library on some diversity and inclusion efforts. The library has access to grant funding for things revolving this, and aside from that, they're also getting ready to open up the new Exchange. I was trying to think of the name, the Exchange building, which I toured today and is really awesome. I'm excited about that. There's so much cool stuff there. But anyway, the committee will be touring that with Fonda and her staff on June 28th. Or no, I'm sorry, whatever the last Wednesday is of this month. And then the Merit Commission meets tomorrow, 2 p.m. at the police station. And the school board is meeting tonight, so I'll be interested to see who gets better ratings.
Councilwoman Ficus.
Traffic Commission met on June 1st. A couple of the items that we discussed are on tonight's agenda. Park Board met on May 26th. This meeting was rescheduled for May 19th due to a lack of a quorum. The dedication of the new tennis courts will be held tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Kessling Complex. A subcommittee, Safe Park Roadways, was formed to take a look at all 16 city parks to ensure safety for pedestrians, cyclists, as well as motorists. The committee plans to meet every other month. A permit was issued for the dredging of the channel at Kiwanis Teledyne Park. The board agreed to the proposed rates for approved events by nonprofit organizations. They will be given a 25% discount off the rental of both large and small shelters at Kessling Park, the Fox Park Amphitheater, and Cummings Lodge. There will be no nonprofit rate offered for Stone Lake Beach House or the Rotary Gazebo. As the park department still has not received the new kayak lockers, Park Superintendent Mark Schreiber found a local fabricator that will be able to construct the lockers for delivery in late June or early July. The company is Jet Fabricators located in Michigan City, and anyone that already has rented a locker will have money applied to their next rental agreement. There will be a youth sports fundraiser being held on June 25th featuring Porte Chicken. The event will take place from 4 to 7 in the Park and Rec parking lot.
Councilman Vincent.
Nothing to add.
Councilman Galloway.
This Saturday, June the 12th at 2 o'clock, they'll have the brick dedication. Be over by the park department where the memorials are. We have over 80 bricks
Is that the largest number that we've had?
so far that I know of. Yeah.
And the public is encouraged
Oh, yeah, please come.
to attend.
Please
About-
come.
It's about a half-hour ceremony to honor our veterans.
Yeah, you're coming, right?
Absolutely, wouldn't miss it. Councilwoman Cutler.
Okay, since the May meeting of the Business Improvement District Board, all the planters in the bid district have been planted, and on Michigan Avenue, additional mini sunflower plants were added to complement and to celebrate the sunflower fair that's coming back this year. So don't pull those out, they're not weeds. They're really tall, and they're different, they're right out here. Specific planters that had faulty sprinkler systems were reported, and the water department has been addressing those issues. The board approved the hiring of Mofield Properties for summer maintenance, and also reported was the existence of the downtown paver bricks left behind by the installation of the new light poles by the state. So it's been requested that the planning office and street department retrieve and save these pavers to be used in any upcoming sidewalk repairs this summer, since the old style pavers are no longer available. So hopefully that'll be addressed again at this next meeting, and they'll be removed before 4th of July. The bid board will meet next Monday, June 14th at 5 p.m. at City Hall. And at the May meeting of the Urban Enterprise Association Board, Mary Ann Richards gave an update on the residential safety programs, reporting that she and board member Ryan Laux reviewed the damaged sidewalks on Harrison Street, and the board approved Mary Ann to move forward on getting quotes for their replacement. A total of 5 business grants for buildings in the zone were approved, and because of the popularity of the business grant program, the UEA has nearly reached their budgeted amount for the year, and new application submissions are now closed. The next meeting of the UEA will be tentatively Wednesday, June 16th, but it is in negotiations possibly to move it to the following Wednesday. So I'll have to give another update at the next council. Thank you.
Councilwoman West.
The fire department, the Merit Commission met on May 5th, and new business was Assistant Chief Kelly Burke attended the meeting to express concerns of possible ramifications to putting a 70% pass rating on promotional testing as discussed at the April meeting. The Merit Commission will continue to consider this issue and discuss again in July.
Councilwoman Konechny.
Airport Authority will meet this Wednesday, June 9th at 5:15 via Zoom. The commission hopes to resume in-person meetings at the airport starting in July. The Tree Commission will meet next Thursday, June 17th at 5 p.m. in council chambers, and the Historic Preservation Commission will meet next Tuesday, June 15th at 5:30 in council chambers.
Thank you all. I mean, we are fortunate, and I'll say this to the public, that we have engaged council people like we do, that every day are doing their own jobs, plus committing responses to individuals, residents in our community that have questions and are always available. So just once again to the public to remind how fortunate we are to have engaged council that are helping our community move forward. So thank you. It's just a reminder. Councilman Vincent, introduction of an ordinance.
Honorable Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to introduce an ordinance for its first reading.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Vincent.
An ordinance amending section 94-322 of the Municipal Code of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, placing stop signs on Lakeshore Drive and Chestnut Street. Whereas the Traffic Commission, after due consideration, has recommended to the Common Council that stop signs be placed at Lakeshore Drive and Chestnut Street. Now therefore, be it, and it is hereby ordained by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Indiana, that Section 1, the Section 94-322 of the Municipal Code of the City of LaPorte is hereby amended to add a stop sign at the following intersections: Lakeshore Drive, eastbound traffic at its intersection with Craven Drive. Second location, Chestnut Street, westbound traffic at its intersection with Woodward Street. Section 2, any ordinances in conflict shall be repealed. Section 3, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its passage, approval of the mayor, and publication as required by law. End of ordinance.
Discussion.
If anybody needs any, well, we have 2 members on Traffic Commission. Lakeshore Drive, that's just going to make it a 3-way stop down there after the one-way with Craven, because people coming from like the Ball Diamonds weren't stopping, so that was another thing that actually we discussed in the safe parkways or roadways. So putting a stop sign there. And then Chestnut Street is only about 3 blocks long, and it comes out into Woodward. There is no stop sign to get onto Woodward after the 3 blocks, so that's kind of a given, because Woodward's pretty busy, so I think people do need to stop there before going on to Woodward. So that's in a nutshell.
Further council discussion? I think Mr. Schreiber is here to speak on behalf of one. If you'd like to approach, state your name and address.
Yes, Mark Schreiber, I'm the park superintendent. I live at 1404 Illinois in LaPorte. Yeah, I just wanted to briefly speak in support of the stop sign at Craven and Lakeshore. The Traffic Commission did place a stop sign stopping westbound traffic on Lakeshore, which solved part of a problem that we had. The bigger problem is people who use Lakeshore Drive who come in from out of the county and use that as a get-through, which is necessary because of the railroad tracks. I understand people are going to use that to get to Weller. But over the years, with no stop sign there, we've even kind of created the infrastructure that allows people to take a quick turn there if you stop out there. We've actually, over the years, we've paved it into a curve, kind of like a trackway, so people don't stop there because there was no stop sign, and then they fly up Craven. So with the infrastructure we've created there with the parks and the number of people that are coming from the neighborhoods, Weller, Pennsylvania, even on, going over down to the other side of Weller, all those neighborhoods, all the people that are coming down to use Soldier Memorial Park now, we really need to have that enhanced safety. So I appreciate the recognition of that by the Traffic Commission to propose this, and I just hope it has your support. Thank you.
Questions for Mr. Schreiber? Hearing none, we'll move this to the June 21st meeting. If that is the will of the committee or the council. Councilwoman Cutler.
Your Honor, I move to introduce a resolution read for the first and only time in its entirety.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman Cutler.
A resolution establishing the policy by which members of the City of LaPorte Common Council may participate by electronic means of communication. Whereas Public Law 88-2021, House Enroll Act 1437, Section 5, amended Indiana Code Section 5-14-1.5-1, EdSec Act effective April 20th, 2021, by amending Indiana Code Section 5-14-1.5-3.5 to prescribe new requirements by which members of the governing body of a public agency of a political subdivision may participate in a meeting by any electronic means of communication. Whereas a member of the governing body may participate by any means of communication that allows all participating members of the governing body to simultaneously communicate with each other, and except for a meeting that is an executive session, allows the public to simultaneously attend and observe the meeting. Whereas the Act requires the governing body to adopt a written policy establishing the procedures that apply to a member's participation in a meeting by an electronic means of communication, and may adopt procedures that are more restrictive than the procedures established by Indiana Code Section 5-14-1.5-3.5D. And whereas the City of LaPorte Common Council is the executive governing body of the City of LaPorte, Indiana. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, Section 1A, the provisions of the Act, including definitions, apply to this resolution. B, this resolution shall be known as the Electronic Meetings Policy of the City of LaPorte Common Council and applies to the City of LaPorte Common Council and any committee or advisory board appointed directly by this Common Council or its presiding officer. Section 2A. Subject to Section 3 and 5, any member may participate in a meeting by any electronic means of communication that, 1, allows all participating members of the governing body to simultaneously communicate with each other, and 2, other than a meeting that is an executive session, allows the public to simultaneously attend and observe the meeting. B, a member who participates by an electronic means of communication, 1, shall be considered present for purposes of establishing a quorum, and 2, may participate in final action only if the member can be seen and heard. C, all votes taken during a meeting at which at least one member participates by an electronic means of communication must be taken by roll call vote. Section 3. A, at least 50% of the members must be physically present at a meeting at which a member or members participate by means of electronic communication. Not more than 50% of the members may participate by an electronic means of communication at that same time. B, a member may not attend more than a 50% of the meetings in a calendar year by an electronic means of communication unless the member's participation is due to 1, military service, 2, illness or other medical condition, Gesundheit, 3, death of a relative, or 4, an emergency involving actual or threatened injury to persons or property. C, a member may attend 2 consecutive meetings, a set of meetings, by electronic communication. A member must attend in person at least 1 meeting between sets of meetings that the member attends by electronic communication unless the member's absence is due to 1, military service, 2, illness or other medical condition, 3, death of a relative, or 4, an emergency involving actual or threatened injury to person or property. Section 4. The minutes of a meeting at which any member participates by electronic means of communication must, 1, identify each member who, A, was physically present at the meeting, B, participated in the meeting by electronic means of communication, and C, was absent. And 2, identify the electronic means of communication by which A, members participate in the meeting, B, members of the public attended and observed the meeting if the meeting was not an executive session. Section 5. No member of the City of LaPorte Common Council may participate by means of electronic communication in a meeting at which the City of LaPorte Common Council may take final action to 1, adopt a budget, 2, make a reduction in personnel, 3, initiate a referendum, 4, impose or increase a fee, 5, impose or increase a penalty, 6, exercise the City of LaPorte Common Council's power of eminent domain, or 7, establish, impose, raise, or renew a tax. Section 6. This resolution shall be effective from and after adoption by this Common Council. End of resolution.
The resolution has been read. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Mr. Otis, if you want to give just,
Well, I was just going to say, this is something we legally have to have in place, right?
In order to for electronic participation after the governor's executive order expires, which we think will expire at the end of this month, currently expires at the end of this month. Prior to COVID, you did not have the opportunity for electronic participation. I think that what you're adopting is straight out of the state statute on this. I think the idea from the legislature is that this should be an exception, not a standard for elected officials. that you need to be physically present so that the people that elect you have an opportunity to communicate with you in a significant way. So I think it's for those instances, like some of you were on spring break, I know at one of the April meetings, that's a perfect example. You want that to be a one-off, not a regular activity.
Further discussion, questions? Would anybody from the public like to speak? Hearing none, I do have a motion and a second. All those in favor state by saying aye.
No,
Or
no.
do I
Aye.
have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
I thought I had a motion and a second.
Oh,
Your Honor, I made that motion.
Yep.
I made that motion.
And we had a second. We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Councilman Galloway.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce a resolution.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Galloway.
A resolution for additional appropriation for Beechwood non-reverting capital. Whereas it has been determined that it is now necessary to appropriate more money than was appropriated in the annual budget. Now therefore, Section 1, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte, LaPorte County, Indiana, that for the expenses of the taxing unit, the following additional sums of money are hereby appropriated out of the fund named and for purposes specified, subject to the laws governing the same. Beechwood Non-Reverting Capital Fund, 274-803-451, capital improvements, amount requested, $10,131. Amount approved, $10,131.
So we do have a motion. I would now like to open up for a public hearing. Anybody from the public that would like to speak on this resolution?
Mayor, just real quick, this was, notice was appropriately published on May 19th of 2021 in the LaPorte County Herald Dispatch.
Would anybody from the public like to speak on this matter? Seeing none, I will now close the public hearing. Discussion from the council?
What's it for?
Clerk Treasurer
I can speak to that, or
Parthune.
would you like to, Mark?
Good, Mark.
Okay. So Kyle Cashmere is, I believe there's a sod project.
Mr.
Grass,
Schreiber, if you-
grass and sod is what it is
I
for.
can,
that
I can fill in those.
Thank you.
So, last year, obviously, we had a profitable year at Beechwood. The agreement has been that up to $30,000 of profit made at Beechwood would be put into capital improvements at Beechwood. So this is that money from last year that was made in profit. The $8,000, approximately $8,000 of that amount has been put into a tee improvement project where we have resodded tees on 3 of the different holes there. One, a pretty extensive project on number 8 for golf course improvements. So this isn't asking you for money that from some other area. This was money that was generated by the course and then by agreement comes back to us.
I
And
thought
it
it
is-
was
and
to
it is on
replace
sod.
Mayor Dermody's divots.
Yeah.
And we're going to need another 2,000 for the divots. No.
Further discussion from the council? Hearing none. All those in favor of this resolution state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Other business. So before Councilman Galloway goes, I would like to say a couple things. Number one, as many of you have been informed today, we say goodbye to our our planner, Tom Casey. Tom was just a very good individual, passionate, committed, dedicated to where we're headed in our community. And he was one of those individuals that you wanted on the bus as you move forward. And really appreciated getting to know him. And we wish him well there. Also, the downtown cleanup on Friday for all those organizations, groups, businesses that help clean up our downtown. As you may have seen this morning, our goal for downtown is to be spotless. The grass coming up between the sidewalk, weeds is just not acceptable. So if you haven't seen the Monroe Street parking lot, take a peek at it and the work and the mulch that was done there. Also the BID's commitment to keeping it clean, and Laura Cutler's been an advisor there, and her husband Thaddeus. I want to thank Thaddeus for helping get that done. So downtown will be spotless this summer. As well, I want to remind everybody, just in case, so you can start planning, and I know we are looking for more groups to join us with the 50s Cruise In, which is June 18th downtown at the Stitch from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. Any of those organizations that want to set up in a pop-up market tent, artisan related, we're excited to say there's space available. Local food by Social Q Barbecue and Tacos My Friend. Craft beer by Burnham Brewing, and cider wine and mead by Misbehaving Meads. All ages welcome. Free admission. Overall put on by the city of LaPorte with some other help. So make sure you mark the date, June 18th from 6 to 10 p.m. And also, Mr. Otis, is it true that the bar property is officially annexed into the city of LaPorte as of today?
Yes.
Any other comments from council?
Yeah, I've got one.
Councilman Galloway.
Son-in-law's back from the Black Sea.
Oh,
His ship
great.
docked about 4 days ago, and he's back in LaPorte now.
Councilman Galloway, if you would, from the public perspective, just explain the scenario that your son was in.
He was on one, there was 2 Coast Guard cutters. He was on the Hampton. And he said the Russians ran all around him out in the water. And he said they even fired a few warning shots, but that was about it. So, he got back.
We are glad that he's safe. Obviously on a national basis, everybody saw what was happening there. And please remind him and thank him for his service.
Sure will.
Other comments from the council?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We are adjourned. Thank you for this evening. Have a great night.